So in this video, I'm going to ask you guys, like I mentioned at the end of the previous video, if you're recording the talking that you hear, which are the EMF broadcasts, please leave a comment so I can listen to your recordings. The recordings for me I can't hear it well, but I prefer to just say what they're saying. I feel that either they're using similar scripts and just putting our names in, but they're doing it not just to do this to us, but to communicate with each other. So when I was doing some research on these things, people are using satellites, ham radios, walkie-talkies, computer programs to communicate. And by broadcasting it, which means sending it out for other people to hear, they're invading our privacy. So that's a huge crime, but the way they're doing it should also be a crime. So I'm trying to get as much information about that as possible. What they thought they were going to do is get me to help them with AI technology without my consent, then hit my body with things to give me medical issues. And so I would develop symptoms, try to get people to discredit me. That's not happening. The discrediting part isn't happening because I have proof that the people doing this lied. They wanted to get in touch with me because they wanted money. They were trying to hurt me for money. So they're upset that I'm not going along with that plan, because why would I go along with the plan to hurt myself? So they're upset now that the videos I'm doing aren't fitting. See, they thought that they would associate my videos and my work with something else so that they could kind of make it seem like, well, it's not what I said it is. It's something good. It would never be good for someone to broadcast what I'm doing in the privacy of my own home, have people confessing to crimes, ask me, have I ever done anything wrong? That's never okay. That's a crime. It seems like I'm dealing with people who can't tell a crime from a not crime. It's a crime either way. It would never be not a crime. So they said, well, if they badger me enough, I'll go along. That's a crime. I mean, I feel like it's a crime. So they're trying to say, well, haven't I ever made a mistake? This isn't a mistake. It's a crime. It's a crime. I'm able to say that to you because it's a crime. It's not a mistake. And I think when I'm dealing with people like this who don't understand the difference between a crime and a mistake, it's a bigger problem. And that's the point with this. So they said they were hitting me in the head because they wanted to prove that years ago I could hear voices. I did not hear voices years ago. So by hitting me with in any way possible, so to make me hear voices is a crime. These are crimes. These aren't mistakes. These aren't, well, maybe. So part of what I want to do in this video is I just uploaded a video, which was an interpretation of the day, where I said I was going to have you guys, tell you guys about the tactics they used on me, because that helps you. If you're going through this, it should help you. And one of the tactics is that they put similar and the same and they try to make similar the same. Well, a mistake is not the same as a crime. And this is a crime. This wasn't a mistake. If you do it and you're committing a crime and then you don't want me to talk about it, you didn't make a mistake. I think the sad part is they keep saying something isn't right about this. Yeah, because it's a crime. So they're trying to make it seem like the crime isn't right, but that's why it's a crime. Like, I think that's part of why I don't get along with these types of people, because they keep trying to make something that it's not. They're trying to make it seem like, well, if they can make me look mentally ill, then it will change the fact that it's a crime. It doesn't. Doing this to someone who is mentally ill doesn't change that it's a crime. And that's what these videos I'm doing are about. I'm telling you what they accuse me of, and it still doesn't justify doing this. So they're upset because why would you tell that we accused you of looking closely at a lesbian scene in a movie? Why wouldn't I tell that? Why wouldn't I tell that? So they now said, I did not look closely at the lesbian scene in the movie. I was disgusted by it. That's my point with them. If they're going to keep making accusations and then changing the accusation and then coming up with a new accusation, then changing that was designed to make me go nuts. So now they said I did not do it. I am innocent of looking closely at a lesbian scene in a movie. That's my point. That is not a crime. Accusing me of looking at something is not a crime. This is a crime. The accusation is a crime. So my actions, not a crime. Their actions, crime. And that's my point. That's a tactic. The tactic is to make me feel. You get what I'm saying? Feel guilt, shame, embarrassment, anger, sadness, to make me feel, which is part of what I'm talking about in this whole series of videos. Not just the physical pain. We're talking about physical pain. We're talking about mental pain. It's painful when someone accuses you of stuff. But it's also talking about it just being a pain to do this, to have to go through this. So when I'm telling you these things, and you can kind of say, you can tell, like, this is a problem that these people created. And not just for me, but for a lot of other people. And because they're so manipulative, they don't want to acknowledge they're the problem. So they want to twist and distort it to make me the problem. And to that I say, if I'm the problem, get out of my life. I don't want these people. And that's part of what they're saying. They said, well, we had to do this because we wanted to be around you. That's a gang. That's a gang tactic. That if you don't want to go along with the gang, they use violence. They use getting other people to hurt you. And that's my point. I don't really have to talk about just their tactics, because their tactics speak for themselves. It's also how they wanted to manipulate my emotions. They wanted me to feel like, well, I should be embarrassed and ashamed that there was a lesbian scene in the movie. And they said I looked away now, but instead of me being so offended, I watched it. They said, well, didn't you go to Catholic school? Weren't you religious? So in a movie, if I'm supposed to feel that if I'm watching a movie, I have to look away from lesbian scenes, that doesn't make any sense. So then they want to make something that's completely different, similar to that. And that's my point. They're so manipulative that I don't think they realize when they're manipulating. I think it's just something that they always do, not just to me, but to other people, that they don't realize it's manipulative. So that's another tactic. Manipulative people tend to be manipulative in various situations, not just in this situation. And they do use these types of tactics where something that's not the same, in their minds, they manipulate to seem the same. So I still have a lot more that I wanted to discuss about this, but I'm going to leave it at that in this video. So thank you for watching. If you have EMF broadcasts that you would like me to listen to, leave a comment. I'll upload more videos soon.